Okay, heading to the post office, so I thought I'd film part 6 of my alcoholism journey. So I get out of the mental hospital, which I ended up in because I was feeling really guilty and suicidal after leaving mom. And the guilt lasted about 4 years. Even though I knew it was the best decision to take, I still didn't lessen the guilt, and the alcohol made the depression a whole lot worse. Of course, I refused to realize that at the time. Of course, I didn't drink while I was in the hospital and had no desire to because, well, quite frankly, it wasn't available. And I felt safe, and except for one counselor saying I was selfish for having attempted suicide, it was a pretty positive experience. But even though I had some money, I was sleeping in my backyard for a couple of weeks, actually almost a month. About 6 weeks from the time I left mom to the time I got an apartment. So, got that, should have gotten a job right away, and I sat and drank for 3 months. Pretty much drunk 24/7. Finally started to have some money problems. Ended up with a weekend gig that ended up only being 1 day, but that's okay, it helped. And about the next week, I got a job at SureTech Laboratories where I had worked before, and I was really thrilled to be there. It would be easier to cross the street here and avoid those fire hoses. Okay, so start working at SureTech, and I'm pretty happy there. It was going to only be a few months' job, and they ended up keeping me on to the winter. And about 10 months in, they hired me on as a full-time temp. So that was really cool. Really happy about that. I was pretty much set for a job. And but yeah, alcohol was still making itself felt. Probably about a month after I'd gotten hired on full-time, I woke up one day, and instead of getting ready to go to work, I decided I want to get drunk. And I was drunk for about 3 days. Matter of fact, during that time, they put up the frame and initial sighting of a house behind where I was living. So, and I'd also missed one day, probably 8 or 9 months earlier, because I was getting ready to go to work and vomited on my way out the door and decided I better just go back to bed. And in this time frame, about 4 months after I started at SureTech, the place where I was living had a house fire. So I was living in a hotel for about 3 weeks until a guy at work helped me find a place where he used to live. So yeah, I was at least stable. Ended up with some cats. Didn't really like the apartment I was living in, only because it was beige on beige on beige and just kind of depressing looking. But that's okay. Eventually I started to make it my own. But yeah, I get hired on as a full-time temp through Kelly OCS, and I'm pretty much thrilled. And except for a couple of months there, I was very, very happy there at SureTech. Love to go back, probably won't happen. Woulda, coulda, shouldas. But yeah, 20 months after I started there, about 10 months after I got hired on full time due to some problems in the dairy industry, they let a lot of the temps go. And of course I was one of them. And my plan was to take the unemployment, write it out until soil season started at the 1st of March. And I delayed in getting the unemployment because I wasn't searching for a job, because I was drinking, because I was depressed, and the cycle continued. So, yeah, I wasn't checking my email, didn't get back on in the spring. Finally, had some problems with my unemployment because they didn't notify me, or it was screwed up how they notify you when they want you to bring in proof of your job search. And so anyway, I lost 2 weeks of unemployment, got behind on rent. But they worked with me because I went in and talked to them, and so I get hired on, get caught back up, and things took another downturn, but we're gonna cover that in the next video. So yeah, basically the first 2 years after I left Mom, I was drinking as much as I could. And the bad thing about the job I had at Adidas was it was 3 days a week, occasionally a 4th day of overtime. So I had 3 to 4 days a week where I could drink 24/7, and I did. So, you know, instead of having those natural breaks in there for work, where I couldn't drink as much because I wasn't going to go into work drunk. Yeah, I spent a lot of time drunk, and I was getting to the point where I was thinking about, because it took so long to get home, about hiding some alcohol at the bus stop. And that probably would have happened if I hadn't quit drinking. But we're going to end this episode with that, and we'll talk to you later.